No countries. Or die for. No religion to. We don't have to be dreaming. I'm sorry about that, cat. Hopefully he's getting well. Power to those shrooms. People mean nothing. Good luck with that, kitty cat. Healing energy. Harvest as ready, Daniel. Some will go faster than others. Some will just spore right on top of the others and make them dirty. Congratulations, Dee. You're going to make it happen.
To realize that they have power. They put the politicians in power. They vote for the local mayor. The people do it. But the system is so geared that everybody believes that just the father will fix everything. The father being the government. Government will fix everything. It is all government's fault. Shake a fist at the government. Well, we are the government. The people are the government. The people have the power. But we must try and make them aware of this.
Yes, Savage. What did you think of that? Who's the power? Who is the power? Boy, we don't remember well. I want to show you guys something this morning. Something super special. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Good morning. Okay. You guys ready? Whoops.
Hey, Pop, my
Good morning, Pops. Much love.
Good morning, Pop. Much love.
That's my little buddy, Micah. Imagine waking up to that, you guys. This is Matthew S., little fella. They like Pops. One more time. This is so cute.
Good morning, Pop. Much love.
Who does that? Is that amazing? It's so amazing because this was my theme and he didn't know it. I'd started out this morning with this, saying this is the Tea Crew, and a separate text altogether. He sent me that of the little fella saying good morning to me this morning. Listen.
There are 3 simple changes I
1
tell all
second.
my arthritis patients to make. Number 1, you have to start drinking.
Micah's a great name.
Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well.
This was what I had planned on doing this morning. And then I got this beautiful note from Micah. I guess the energy was right.
Them on your dreams, the one they fix,
Teach
the one you know.
your children.
Don't you ever ask them why.
If they told you, you would cry. Look at them and sigh, and know they love you. The years
Can't know the fears that your elders grew by speed, and so we tell them with your youth. They see the truth before they can
Good morning, Pop. Much love.
teach your parents well, 'cause their children's hell will slowly go by and feed them on your dreams. The one they fix, the one you know by.
I need a screenshot of that, please. Somebody screenshot that for me and send that to me, please.
Good morning, Pop. Much love.
Wow. That's some cool stuff. Oh, wait a minute. The Deja Vu album. Okay, as the teapot boils, so do the days of our lives. God, what a beautiful morning. Look how many people are here. Look at this sideways grin. Come on, push that like button. Penny Pack said so. I'm going to read something to you guys. You know, Pops hasn't been in the best physical condition the last couple of weeks. Makes him feel old. Sometimes I'm feeling old. I've been wearing a hat. I didn't comb my hair for a couple of days. Sometimes I need a small reminder. Sometimes I need to jack myself up just a little bit. Do you guys know what I mean? I'm not old, Kim, for sure I'm not, but I felt like it the last 2 weeks. I found out I had an iron deficiency too. On my way to anemia. Pops needs iron pills. That cracks me up. I remember my grandmother saying, "Get me my iron pills." Here I am, getting iron pills. I want to tell you guys something though. Right, Badgie? It's not our heads that feel old, it's the body. We're going on a vacation to Mushtoberfest. We're going to be there. We're going to have the best time of our lives. Because I'm with you guys. We're going to do mycology, so don't worry. Hold on, you mycologists. I have stuff set up right here. I wanted to show you guys something. Something kind of cool. MVP, I don't like meat anymore. Fish and iron pills. Anyways. Give me 5 people that say, "Pops, even though you're old, you're still a warrior." You're still a warrior. I do have a warrior mentality, you know. B12. Make a note of that, Sherry. Am I a warrior? I have the answer for myself. But do you guys see me as a warrior? Heck yeah. It comes up every once in a while, doesn't it? But you know where it's the most? You know where I'm warrior most? Is growing shrooms. Good evening, sir. I'm gonna read you a note I got. It pumped me up. I'm not reading this to you guys to brag or to self-personify, self-glorification, I promise. These are letters you guys can be getting. Some of you probably are. If you are, read them to us. Tell us what it's like to be a warrior. Warriors aren't afraid to lead, are they? Warriors don't say they're perfect, but they're not afraid to lead. The biggest thing a leader can do is motivate people to be their best. It isn't you're already doing your best. Your job as a warrior is to motivate people to be their best on their way to their battles. Good evening, sir. I just wanted to pop in your inbox. And see, I think it's absolutely awesome how you are able to spread this wonderful medicine. You are far braver than I am. It truly takes immense courage to do what you know is right, regardless of the risk it carries, especially when the consequences can be so harsh and unforgiving. I'm so deep in my game, I forget that part of what I'm up to. I honestly do. This was a big reminder. I was like, geez, he's right. I forget, because I'm just so pops on. I forget that part. What you guys are doing is super brave. It's really brave. We're different. It's brave. Society doesn't say you guys should all get together on a little tea thing and talk about how to improve the world. and spread it among each other. Teach it. Society didn't say to do that. They're out there chasing some kind of a yacht. Regardless of the risk it carries, especially when the consequences can be so harsh and unforgiving. It's wonderful how the medicine keeps you doing right things and protects you so you can keep healing people. I would be way too worried about something happening to me to do what you do. Big respect, sir. This world needs more men like you. Perhaps one day I will be as brave a soul as you are. Much love and divine protection to you. Did I read that to you guys to tell you that Pops is the bravest soul and whoo, look at me being brave? Did I read that to you guys for that reason? No. I read it because you guys are equally as brave or capable of being. It's also super easy to forget. There are consequences. Let's be patient with one another. Let's love one another. Let's understand what we're doing here. It takes a warrior spirit to just, no matter what, keep doing it. There's 48 warriors on my screen right now. And I'm not trying to be Joe melodramatic. I mean that. I'm not sure I agree with you, Sling. Sling says bravery and stupidity are right next to each other. I'm not sure I agree with that. That's okay. I think bravery is a much higher calling. Stupidity has to do with actions and inactions. Did you guys like Mike and me?
Good morning, Pop. Much loves.
Good morning, Pops. Much love. What a neat little, it was the craziest thing because came from two different places. I was going to talk about teaching and children. And then Matthew sends me this from his babies. We stay in really good touch. Matthew's visited here and he's one kind guy. Cutest kids. What's going on with that? Makes me want another one. A little fella to bring up. Look at Badgie. He says this warrior just pinned his dog and now the big head is... You got a beautiful dog, Badgie. I love your dog. So, I want 48 people. I'm going to move on. We're going to do some mycology here this morning. And I have one little thing to read later. I want 48, there's now 51. I want 51 people to say, either to themselves or to this group, I'm a warrior. Talk about what you're capable of being and what you are. I'm a warrior. Just go ahead and write it on the screen. I'm brave. Their kids are coming. I lost you and Jackie and Higgs. And Badger's roaring. And Penny, I'm going to read you. And Snuffleupagus is a warrior. Joe Dubes. Saidi, you guys are warriors. I believe you're warriors if you're just here. But name it and claim it. RX. And Kimberly. And Shasta. And Nerdy. And Chris and Ellen. And Jesus Christ. I love that scene by the Warriors. Come out and play. Creepy. Warrior. Terry, you don't try to be, you are. MVP and Kitty Cat. Cat, I'm sorry about what's going on at your house. You're a warrior. Go through that. Your husband's a warrior. Sandy, 100% warrior. Rebel. And Eric. Eric's a warrior that's out in the... He says he's out in the hallway getting a spanking. I don't believe him. I think Eric's in the classroom paying attention. He's the new Eric. MVP, Mr. Phillips, Josh is a warrior, Jackie Cat, King Kennedy, Laddie Rand is between bowls. He's trying to be a warrior. Kieran is definitely a warrior. I know her. Overjoyed is Slingy and I lost you. And Trueheart, yes, you do feel like one because you just said you are. Terry Robinson's roaring. Numa, there's my friend, and I lost you. And Lad Rand and Slingy and Side Branches. Good enough. Warriors, let's roar. Mycology, ask me questions. Guess what I did this morning? I snipped open a bag. This is always the scariest part. So I look at this and I go, is it ready? Do I think it's ready to open? These are always tough. There you go, MDK, nicely said. Okay, how tight should the long piece of tape be on the UB bag? Okay, Chris, tight it doesn't need to be. It just needs, what we're looking to do on the UV bag is cut it to where there's a hole there. See that hole? See that hole? And then we take and we tape that just across it. You can literally open it back up and you would have a filter. The tape is simply a filter. Okay? So this one I looked at and I go, is it ready to open? Now the reason I run these, I run a few of them every once in a while, just so I'm stay up to date on my tech. I'm not going to try to, preach something that I don't practice. And I think UB is a really good way for us to get started, get going. It's super simple, and it's really very easy. Simple and easy, aren't those the same thing? Yeah, Pops. So when you see it looking like that, it's probably looking pretty good. It always scares me, though, because there's a good chance, especially the longer I leave it, that it's going to build up some green up right here on the top. If I look inside here and I see there's even a touch of green, I'm done. Often I can do this. Smell. You guys have got it. You guys are all saying it correctly. Smell. Here's a bag that I haven't cut open yet. Okay? That's what it looks like right there. You can actually see it. Okay. Now this one I'm going to cut open right here in front of you guys, and we're going to look inside and see what it looks like. But what you can normally do is you come here to the filter area. And if there's any kind of a sour smell, even a sweet smell, smell, it's probably not going to be a good bag when you open it. If you smell nothing, and it's looking like that, it's probably pretty good. This little area here bothers me, so I won't know what it's going to look like till I open it up. But usually, I'm working with about 10 of these at a time. Okay? Absolutely love the smell when it's open. So this one, we went ahead and we snipped the top off this morning, right before we started here this morning. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to take this to the IG camera and show it too. What do I do now, Pops? What should I do now that I've cut it open? You notice I'm not doing this under a flow hood. I'm not doing this in a still air box. I don't even have gloves on my hands. None of that's very smart. That's not the best way to go, but I'm pretty confident. Mycelium's super strong at this point. It's well colonized. I'll have to work to get it less, or to get it to contaminate at this point. Let me try to show you one more time in there. Okay. So here's what I do. We're going to soak it now. We want this to get some hydration. This is now spawn, and this spawn needs water added to it in order to eventually fruit. So just like you would take your cake out of a jar and you would dunk it or soak it, we don't take it out of the jar. We soak it right in the jar and or, wait for this, and or right in the bag. Water. We like to use distilled water, but you do not have to. If you have good tap water, go ahead and run it. Remember, nature is using water that's run through the rain, through the smog, through everywhere, and it's out there growing mushrooms, isn't it? So here we go. That's all there is to it. We got that water in there. We cover the cake completely with the water. Can you see that? Just like that. And then we're going to take this and we're going to set it off to the side to soak for 2 hours. Okay? Now the water is covering it and it's keeping contaminations coming as well. Okay? How cool was that? You guys ready for another one? Let me get some more distilled water, and we're gonna try opening this one right in front of you. I hope it's not green. Before I open this one, are you guys betting people? Give me your bets. It's gonna be good or it's gonna be bad? Good? Is this one gonna be good or is it gonna be bad? Whiskey says it's gonna be good. Losty says good. Red Boy says good. Look at this, they even give you a little place to cut right along here. How do you like that stuff? Okay. You guys all say it's gonna be green. I mean, it's gonna be clean. Well, let's see. Badgie says it's not fully colonized. Sometimes Badgie, what we'll do when we find out that there is a little bit of rice that didn't get all the way, after we've soaked it and we've taken it out of the bag, we'll just scrape that rice off and only work with the area that's fully colonized. Okay? Well, let's find out. This is like, I feel like I'm doing a high wire act without a net. Who does this? Green. True story. Bummer. Right, Kim? Always risky. Doesn't even have a bad... Now it's got a sour smell. Gosh, what a disappointment. I'll be right back. I'm going to go dispose of this appropriately and then wash it up and everything. I'll be right back. you guys just witnessed. You guys just witnessed Mycology 101. You just witnessed Mycology 101. Cherry, 8 out of 10's a lot, but it sounds like you might have the reason. Maybe you did get it too wet with too much LC. That happens a lot. This rice does not need a lot of LC to get going. Okay? Overjoyed, we wouldn't even open an iffy bag either. We didn't feel like that bag was iffy. I couldn't smell anything. I could tell from that one little area that it hadn't colonized all the way. I was like, this isn't quite right. I'm going to open this one in front of the others. 2cc is about the most you want to do, Overjoyed. Is the smell bad for humans? No, not really, Matt. You don't want to be inhaling a lot of it, but guess what? Do you know how much mold and bacteria and everything is floating around in our airspace every single day? I have some amazing statistics that are in this Radical Mycology book. We inhale more spores every day than you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine the numbers. But it's not something like someone says here, you don't want to go around huffing it. 50-50 this morning. 50-50. Guess what we just showed you? Mycology's not easy. I sit here and tell you how easy this is the easiest thing. And then I only get 50. 1 out of 2 of the bags working this morning. If you want to be a mycologist, don't quit. It's so easy to quit. That's what the mushrooms taught Pops most. Don't quit. If you really want to do this, you'll do it. And then Laddie says it exactly right. Mycology is about being a warrior. You all said you were. That right there is a kick in the balls, especially if all you have is 2 bags. Now you only got 1. Shasta, I do have 4 more that are ready to open. I was going to wait till later today. I'm not going to do it here. I have 4 more because I had 6 to set up here. I'm going to start some more today. Every 2 weeks or so, I try to start some bags. Keep them in a test tent that we keep here at the lab. Is this the fastest and best way to grow bulk? Absolutely not. But you can grow mushrooms with this. This one bag that we got that did work, we're going to take that one later today, and we're going to make a little mound cake out of it. I'm going to film myself doing it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little substrate and put it down on the bottom. I'm going to take that soaked cake, and I'm going to put it on top of that substrate, pack of substrate. And then I'm going to put substrate, just the pop soil, over and around it. So it's completely covered in substrate. And then I'm going to take that little mound and I'm going to put it inside of a tub. Size of the tub at that point doesn't really matter. And then we'll watch it together growing. Every couple of days I'll show you guys how that guy's looking. Okay? Anybody have some mycology questions for me this morning? I'm liking quart glass jars with modified lids. I got fancy after a year or so. It does, Jackie. Good stuff. I personally do jars. For a long time, I was running bags. And bags are good, but jars are the most economical for us because I can reuse them all the time. Right? Vegas, ask your agar question for sure. A best substrate for lion's mane? Liam, I'm not a good source for that. I don't grow lion's mane. Exception to the rule here. Exception would be able to answer that pretty well. Okay, ask Exception. She grows some great lion mane. I've gotten some from her. Pops, does the altitude play a role in putting grain in the PC as it does with normal canning? Yes, Savage, only in that your PC times change. Your amount of time that you need to keep your 15 pounds per square inch At sea level, they recommend 90 minutes. The higher the altitude you go, the more minutes they recommend. Okay? I'm going to look up something real quick here and read it to you guys if I can find it real quick. I guess not. Where is that? One second, I'm sorry. I'll post it later. It's about the inhaling, and it's about how much we have microscopic spores are floating around our houses, and we don't even know it. I'm sorry if I missed a question there. Can you guys ask another question? Question and answer time. And ever tried growing cubensis on coffee or cardboard, or a combination thereof? No, I've never grown it on cardboard. I've never grown it on cardboard. Slingy says, I'd love to know that, Pops. What was it? The question, I'm sorry. Okay, where did you get Radical Myco? I ordered this from Etsy. I went on Etsy and I found a site on Etsy that sells these books. So just go on Etsy and put Radical Mycology and you'll find the books are about 60 bucks. If a lobster mushroom was to attack a psilocybe, would it still be psychoactive? My guess is no, Josh. My guess is no. One of the two will overtake the other. Okay? Agar separated while in PC. Any thoughts? Yeah, you probably didn't have a good combination of the gel part. The proteins and the nutrients could have been in there, but you got to have the gel part correct. How can I get a batch started with no money? I don't know, MDK. That's a good question. For about $30, you can get started. Spend 20 on some bags of UB and go over and see Sandman. He'll get you a $10 syringe of some amazing stuff. And for 30 bucks, you'll be started. So 30 bucks that's what? 2 pizzas instead of 2 pizzas that month? And Penny Pack says, hey, just show up to the party on next week and you could grow something. What else? Agar recipes. You guys are answering your own questions here. That's good. That's really good. You guys are asking and answering. I'm just going to sit back and read. One second here. About agar. Gelatin was used for many years as the firming agent in petri dishes. However, the fungi cultivated on these plates would quickly digest this protein, creating a wet mass. Agar was later standardized as fungi to not liquefy it. Agar can be bought online or in bulk at health food stores. It is vegan and rather expensive. Powdered and granular agar work equally well as they both melt sufficiently during pressure cooking. Agar can be extracted from seaweed with a little bit of effort. First, thoroughly wash and sun-dry the seaweed. Then mix it with 15 times its volume in water and soak for 24 hours. You're making your own. Those people in Florida are probably finding seaweed on top of their roofs. Process this mixture in a blender and pressure cook the resulting pulp at 20 psi for 3 hours. Filter the cooked pulp through cheesecloth and pour the liquid portions into a baking tray to cool and solidify. Place this tray in a freezer for 24 hours. The next day, remove the frozen material and place it on a screen to allow the water to melt away, leaving the agar behind. Ideal seaweed species include those in the genus Petrocladia. Be sure to check and balance the pH of media recipes using homemade agar. If you want to save money on agar, other alternatives are mashed bananas and brown rice paste. This book also has an appendix that gives you about 5 different recipes for agar, basic recipes that we can use. Okay, I know a guy that used instant mashed potatoes for his agar base. I've never read about how to do it with seaweed. I think that would be super fun. Sling, if I could choose, I would choose glass, but we don't. We use plastic and we throw them away. So glass would always be best because then you can reuse them. And it's always better to reuse, I think, than to throw away. We're not as good at recycling as we're getting better. I have to be honest. 2 years ago, I didn't even pay attention. I posted a picture of this pile of trash, all this stuff. Oh, look at how hard we're working. Look at all our trash. And someone writes and goes, hey, what are you doing with that trash? Are you recycling it? I'm like, oh, I don't think I am. And then later on, I saw a picture. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen. One of the saddest things I have personally ever seen. It was a picture. You know what? When you do a 6-pack of something, and you end up with the plastic with the 6 plastic holders. You've taken the 6-pack out, but you still have the 6-pack plastic piece left. There was a turtle that was wearing the whole 6-pack, but he was stuck in one of the holes. And he grew with the plastic around him, so he had this shell that was figure 8. He was stuck, this plastic thing had got stuck on him, and as he grew, the plastic kept him constricted. I looked at that. The trash that we're putting out into the planet. Wow. You guys see how honest you are? You're like, cut them, Pops. Well, I don't even use those 6-packs anymore. Every time I see one of those things, I think of poor turtles. I don't pre-pour anymore, just so you guys know. Gosh, Vegas, it was the saddest thing. I might find a picture of it. Heartbreaking. And we're doing that not on purpose. Pops isn't. I wouldn't do that on purpose, but it could have been my 6-pack floater. It really could have. My conscious level needs to get much higher in regards to recycling. Much higher. I'm sitting here scolding myself. Have you seen that picture, Beth? I'm scolding myself right now. Let's get better. All of us, we can make a commitment to it. I already struggle just to recycle my cakes, my substrate. I've already got to figure that out. And we've got a nice solution for that. Sadie, we can all do better. Terry, I can't watch those shows, Plastic China, because we should watch them though. Kat says she's rescued snakes and bats and squirrels and birds from glue traps. Those are disgusting. Those are disgusting. I used to own a pet store. Well, I didn't own the whole thing, but I was a partner in it. Exotic birds. Well, we also sold bird food. The rats and the mice found the spot, found our shop. It was an ongoing battle with rats and mice to keep them out of the food. We finally figured it out. So we figured out, okay, now we've got it. Guess what the rats and mice do? It's nighttime. Yeah, I had a bird store overjoyed. Chickens, actually, mostly chickens. We were selling chickens in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. You could look it up. It's called Wes's Pet and Feed. It's still there. We sold our parts, but it's still there. Teeny little, cute little store in El Monte, California. I learned all about chickens. We were like urban farmers. You know what I used to do? No kidding. We would have elementary school tours come through, right? And I set up an incubation station where I had incubators out in the public. And the children would come, and for $1, they could buy an egg. And we would put their initial on the egg. And eggs, if you know, you've got to keep them rotating while they're in gestation, 21-day process. Well, the kids could come to the store anytime in that 21 days and they could see how their egg was doing. Well, it was a total crack up, right? Sherry was in El Monte. It was a total crack up, this place, because what's a kid, there's no difference between day 1 and day 21 when you're actually looking at the egg. But then, yeah, or just flip them once a day, but the incubator would have an automatic rotator in it. I had a really fancy incubation station. 2 or 3 incubators going at the same time, different stages. Anyways, we ended up setting up a camera, a video camera, okay? And for your dollar, we would video in on your egg cracking open, your children's egg, and then email that to the parents because they'd leave us their email address. This little kid would see his little egg opening up that had his or her initial on it. Does someone want to think? Give me 5 people that think that was pretty darn cool. Pop set that whole system up, and it was crazy because I spent all my half my time at the store sending off emails of these little videos. Overjoyed has a macaw hatch video, right? It was so cute. It was really cute. And the kids, everyone found out, oh, you go over. The elementary school teachers started figuring out, hey, there's a good nature day trip. What do they call them? Field trips. Okay. We had an ostrich. We did ostrich eggs. We did lots of different stuff at that store. The rats and the mice, not nice. They would come out at night, and because they couldn't get to the feed area anymore, they would go into the bird's cage and share, quote unquote, steal the bird's seed right out of their trays. You'd wake up in the morning and the birds are hiding in the upper corner of the cage. Oh my God, scared. Finches. We had finches. Finches have very, very, what's the word for it? Very tender hearts. Finches die with a heart attack in about a second. You surprise a finch, oh my God, I'm going to die from a heart attack. Cutest birds in the whole world, they're tiny little fellows. And you could kill them just by surprising them. It was not unusual to find a dead bird in our cage that had died from a heart attack. Sensitive souls. Got a whole store full of birds, and in the back room, chickens of every type. And I only when I'd go by there 2 or 3 times, a couple hours a day, 2 or 3 hours a day. That wasn't I started out as an investor, helping a guy a little bit because he was in some, and the next thing you know, I'm like, I like this chicken stuff. I like this chicken stuff. This is pretty cool, right? Wes's Pet and Feed. It's the oldest pet and feed store in Los Angeles County with its original, still its original name. It's been around since the 50s. It's only had about 4 owners. I don't know who owns it now. I haven't even, since I left California, I haven't even thought about it until just today. Finches. We had all kinds of finches. I'm going to do 2 giveaways today, don't forget. But you know what, you guys? Can I read? You know I'm not just going to talk about mycology. I have to talk about something else, too. True Heart, I had 2 birds living in my house in open cages. In other words, there was a big tree in the corner with a tray underneath and stuff. But these 2 birds lived out in the open, but they liked to stay on their tree. Plus, I kept them clipped. But I did. And they lived out in the open. The birds in my house did not live in a cage. Ask Miss Rose. Miss Rose helped me design this whole corner. It's like, what kind of, I forget what the plant is. Not mesquite. What do they use for the trees for these things? What do they use? It's not mesquite. I forget. Anyways, big tree, all the ladders. It's not post oak. It's not oak. Manzanita. Shasta's got it. That's what it is. It's manzanita. Manzanita. Thank you. Yes, manzanita. For some reason, that works out perfectly for bird perches and stuff. It looked like a tree in the corner, a bulb tree, and then we filled it up with all kinds of ladders and bells and whistles and everything for it to play with. And there were 2 of them that lived right out in the open. Their names were Billy and Whistle. Billy and Whistle. They were little lovebirds. They were pretty good, Penny, because birds do throw a lot of stuff around, but they were pretty good. They like to stay in their corner on their tree, and then we had a big drop tray below, and all you had to do was change the drop tray every once in a while, and it was perfect. But we had Billy and Whistle lived in the house, and then I love birds. Give me 5 people. Give me 5 people that say, Pops, tell us just a little bit about gratitude, and then let's do 2 giveaways so we could all be grateful. Gratitude. Kind of misunderstood in some sense. Thank you for letting me read this. I wanted to this morning, but I wanted you guys to be interested too. And I wanted to talk about mycology with you too. Talk about the stuff that we all like to talk about. I love cockatiels too, True Heart. My dad had a cockatiel growing up. King was his name. Best little bird you've ever seen. He'd get on my dad's hand and he was hand tamed. Most of the birds that I have are hand tamed because I worked with them since they were hatchlings. I personally believe in, let's make them, see if they can be hand tamed. And most of the birds that I've ever owned, finches I couldn't hand tame, couldn't even come close. But most of the birds, when I was in the Marine Corps, I had an African gray that I bought from another guy that was leaving the base. He didn't want to take the bird with him to his next duty station, so I bought his African gray from him. And I'm telling you, that was one of the most brilliant animals ever. Super smart. And of course, he could parrot some phrases. I was like in my early 20s, and I'm the coolest guy ever because I've got an African gray, right? And this is 70s. Guess what Pops does? Well, I'm going to put the pole that he sits on out on the front porch. He wouldn't fly away. Somebody stole him right on the base. I couldn't believe it. What happened to honor? One of my fellow Marines stole my bird. I also had an owl. I told you guys that. I had an owl. Biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I thought it was going to be, I wanted an owl so bad for so long. And finally somebody came into the store and they had a baby owl. I was like, I'll buy it. No, I'm not selling it. It's not for sale. I want your owl. It's not for sale. Next time I see her, can I buy your owl? You're the lady with the owls. Can I buy your owl? It's not for sale, not for sale, not for sale. I go, name your price. Totally not legal to own. Name your price, anything. I want your owl. This lady came a couple weeks later. I'm in desperate need of money. I can't pay my bills. I'll sell you my owl. I want $1,000. I was selling chickens for $5 a piece. A finch cost maybe $3.50. A parakeet $7. I want $1,000 for my owl. I'll be right back. I'm heading to the bank. Don't go anywhere. Pops paid $1,000 for an owl because I wanted it so bad. Beautiful owl, brown barn owl. I named him Solomon. And then I put him in a cage. And Solomon's like, you know, I only eat live meat, right? Like, what? I can't feed you nuts and seeds and stuff? No. You got to go find me little pinkies. And you got to give me pinkies. And then I'm going to attack the thing. I'm going to shred it right in front of you. And then when I poop, there's going to be little pieces of bones and stuff in the owl poop. My poop's going to be disgusting. I'm like, okay. All right, Solomon. Because the hardest thing in the whole world was to go to another pet store. Can I get some pinkies, please? Little baby mice. Okay. This thing was vicious. I'm like, I have an owl. That thing would have torn my eyeballs out if I'd have let it. Vicious. Do you guys remember the story? Solomon taught me some valuable lessons, Kieran. He got Pops wiser, for sure. See, Screechy, the Slingy Santa Screech. Owls are, they're killers. You guys remember the story. Pops killed Solomon. Accidentally. He got lazy. He found a dead mouse around the apartment building. And I'm like, I don't have to go get pinkies today. Let me just feed it this dead mouse. Open the cage, throw it in, close it. Solomon's like, not even into it. He's up there looking down at it like, that's weird. He didn't even attack it or anything. The next day, the little mouse was gone. From then on, for the next 4 days, Solomon sat on a branch just rocking back and forth. Eyes glassed over. And I was like, what's wrong with Solomon? Miss Rose, something's wrong with Solomon. He's not acting right. He's not. I'd put a pinky in there. No. He just rocked back and forth on his on his thing for like 3 or 4 days. I was like, I know there's, your animal's behaviors. I had forgotten that we have a contract with Orkin, or one of those pest control places, to keep rodents down, because I had ivy out in front of the building and everything. Keep the rodents down. We had mouse traps and poison traps all around the building. This mouse found the poison, died from it, and Pops didn't even think, I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to just throw one it. I threw a poison mouse in there. Killed my $1,000 owl. Killed me. I couldn't believe I killed my own animal. And I honestly, I was very close to, I'm going to let him go because he's not happy in here. He's just not happy. Gratitude. Am I rambling this morning? You guys, am I sorry? Guys, I'm sorry if I'm rambling this morning. I really am. Brene Brown. Atlas of the Heart. That's like totally food chain oriented, isn't it? Pops is like right in the middle of the food chain. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I wanted that owl so bad. He had the most beautiful cage. Everything in his cage looked perfectly natural. Of course, he's in a cage. But I'm like, I'm going to try to make it look like he's got branches and he's got everything that an owl could ever need. I had that owl for almost a year. I had them almost a year. He was not raised in captivity, but he was captive. He wanted to go back. That's all. Boy, I do have a lot of chapters, don't I? I mean, we all do. Gratitude from Brene Brown. Call me a qualitative researcher, but I'm starting to see a trend here. It appears that many emotions are good for us. Joy and contentment and gratitude, to name a few. There is overwhelming evidence that gratitude is good for us physically, emotionally, and mentally. We all already know this. Yes, I agree. We already know this. Research shows that gratitude is correlated with better sleep, increased creativity, I like this, decreased sense of entitlement, decreased hostility and aggression, increased decision-making skills. Do you know that they actually research this stuff? You know, they sit around and come up with tests and all these stuff, and they can research it and show, yep, you get higher in this area and you get lower in this area. Excuse me. You have decreased blood pressure with gratitude. The list goes on. The research is persuasive. You know what? We already know about this part. I've read countless research articles and books on gratitude, but I still struggle to understand exactly why it helps so much until I read this by Robert Emmons. Emmons is the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. That's a pretty neat title. I am the leading expert in the world on gratitude, scientific expert on gratitude. You are? I need to talk to you, bro. He is a professor of psychology at the University of California, Davis. And he's the founding editor-in-chief. He writes, research on emotion shows that positive emotions wear off quickly. Do we agree with that? We don't even have to do the research, scientific research with Robert Emmons, and I'll already say I think he's right. Positive emotions wear off quickly. Happiness, joy, awe, wonder. You don't walk around in a state of that. Our emotional system likes newness. We like jolts. We like hits. We like bursts. We like that, what that one wine does to us, what that crack hit does to us, what that shot of tequila does. Our emotional system likes novelty. It likes change. We adapt to positive life circumstances so that before too long, the new house, the new car, the new spouse, they don't feel new and exciting anymore. I would never buy a used car. I gotta get a new car. I know I'm losing money on driving off everyone knows you lose money driving off the showroom. I want a new car. I like the smell. I'm emotional. I want the new car. I'm the coolest guy in the parking lot for the first 3 weeks. Pulling into the park, look at my car. Don't park near me. I got the. It wore off so fast. One little ding, one little dent. Gratitude makes us appreciate the value of something. And when we appreciate the value of something, we extract more benefits from it. We're less likely to take it for granted. In effect, I think gratitude allows us to participate more in life. Let me say that again. Gratitude allows us to participate more in life. We notice the positives more. And that magnifies the pleasure that you get from life. It's magnifying those short bursts. Instead of adapting to goodness, we celebrate goodness. We spend so much time watching things, movies, computers, screens, sports. But with gratitude, what happens? With gratitude, we become participants. We become greater participants in our lives as opposed to spectators. The two lines that resonate with my research are, instead of adapting to goodness, we celebrate goodness. This was the key to this whole reading for me. Instead of adapting to goodness, we celebrate goodness. The phrase adapting to goodness reminds me of a quote I've seen all over social media. Remember the day you prayed for the things you have now. You ever heard that one before? Remember the day you prayed for the things you have now. That should stimulate some gratitude, right? I normally scroll right past heavy inspirational quotes, but this one got my attention. I think adapting to goodness without feeling gratitude is a function of scarcity. We either want things for the wrong reasons, then feel disappointed when we acquire them, or we just can't accumulate enough to feel whole. Been there. So we accumulate and adapt, never valuing or appreciating. And the line about living our lives versus being spectators reminds me of how many people I've interviewed over the past 2 decades who talked about simply wanting to feel more alive. Is part of the value of practicing gratitude extending the life of emotions that make us feel most alive? While gratitude is an emotion, if we want to experience its full power, we must also make it a practice. Over the past 2 decades, the research has taught me that despite the catchy phrase, attitude of gratitude, gratitude is a practice. It's tangible. An attitude is a way of thinking. A practice is a way of doing, trying, failing, trying again. I love that. I go around saying attitude of gratitude. No, let's practice gratitude. We don't just think about it. And we're not always really good at it either, right? It says we do it and then we try and then we fail and we try again. Did you guys notice the UV bags? We're going to try again. I'm grateful I even had a chance. Last, I want to share something that recently popped up on social media. I posted something about the importance of gratitude, and someone left a comment that said they thought gratitude might be overrated as a cure for depression, trauma, and anxiety. You know what? I think it's overrated. That attitude, that's overrated. For depression, trauma, and anxiety, someone says. I have to think about that. Is it? Is he right? What I should say is that gratitude is not a cure for anything. I think he's right. Gratitude's not a cure for anything. That's tough to take. And we need to be wary of any single practice or approach that's sold as fixing or curing complex mental health issues. Oh, we can fix that. You just got to have gratitude. Gratitude is a practice. It's not a cure. Gratitude is a practice that can enrich our lives in meaningful ways. In the world of mental health and social emotional learning, the term cure feels like snake oil to me. I agree. Snake oil salesman, beware. My final, I'm going to post this later. Gratitude is an emotion that reflects our deep appreciation for what we value, for what brings meaning to our lives, and what makes us feel connected to one another, to ourselves and others. Gratitude is an emotion that reflects our deep appreciation for what we value, what brings meaning to our lives, and for what makes us feel connected to ourselves and others. Brené's got a lot of really neat places that she goes, and quite a researcher too. I bought that. I buy it. I buy it that gratitude's not a cure. Gratitude's a practice. Can I be honest with you guys? When we go to Mushtoberfest, there's going to be a lot of gratitude practiced. There's going to be a lot of gratitude practiced. That's one of the reasons we walk away so high and want to go back. Long day here. I apologize if I've run long. I guess I had a lot to say today, especially about bird stores. I loved my bird store. I liked going there. And the people. You're talking doctors and lawyers buying chickens. We sold the chicken coops and all of that off to the side of the store. I had a whole display area. These are the chicken coops. I made some of the chicken coops myself. I hired myself out on weekends. If you were rich enough, I'd come to your backyard and I'd build a custom chicken coop for you. Pop's probably built about 50 chicken coops in Los Angeles that year. Give me $3,000 and I'll build a customized chicken coop in your backyard so you can raise a $3 chicken. And people would have big parties. Seriously, Kim. They'd have big landscape around it and everything. It was like very socially cool to be an urban farmer. So we'd go in their backyard and plan it all out with them and everything. These are the materials. Oh, you want the special wire? Oh, well, that's going to cost you a couple extra dollars. And oh, $3,000 is nothing, Savage. And then they'd buy a whole flock of chickens from you. And then you'd sell them the feed. So you'd have customers for life. Literally, I'd probably built, I should find some pictures of some of it. Built some nice chicken coops, custom chicken coops like you see in the Better Homes and Gardens. There's Pops. Why am I telling you guys this? I don't know. I have no idea. Because you guys like mangoes? Okay. Let's talk about mangoes. Top 10 mango producing countries. I picked one off the list. Mango producers, go. You guys are producing mangoes. Where do you live? I live in Belize in Georgia and Ecuador. I'm reading them right off the screen as I see them. Argentina, Beth, and Venezuela and Argentina. I would use pallets. True Heart, I did. There was one we did pallets. It was very cool, very cute. We did a whole pallet thing. Dominican, because you could get it, the wood's super cheap. Brazil, Mexico, Brazil. Egg and mushroom omelet, India, Japan, Argentina, Chile. Philippines, Peru, Mexico, Costa Rica, Thailand. It's a $300 coop in Australia, Iraqi. Peru, Mexico, Peru, Australia. I have not seen the answer yet. We're talking about mango producing countries. Come on, mango heads. Bangladesh and Philippines and Jamaica and Bahama. So guess what? You're pretty close when you say Jamaica and Bahama. That's around where I picked. Pakistan, Cuba, Mexico, Chile. Mexico, Peru, Mexico, Pakistan, Thailand, Nigeria, Australia. Get over into the Caribbean area. Indonesia, Vietnam, Paraguay. China, Bangladesh, China. Thailand, Polynesia, Haiti. Renee got it. Renee, nice work. Renee. It's actually Renee up. Renee, by the way, you guys, is a very, very sweet lady. We had 2 orders for her. They got all messed up in that whole website situation that we were tangled up in. And she was beyond patient, kind, sweet. And she might even be filled with a little gratitude when she finally got her orders. Renee, thank you for that patience. I'm going to need your address sent to me here. Renee is looking. She's paying attention. The rest of you guys are still on whatever you call it, lag time. Haiti was the answer. India, number 1 mango producing country. Mexico, 2. Pakistan, 3. Indonesia, 4. China, 5. Thailand, 6. US, 7. Brazil, 8. Philippines, 9. And Haiti, number 10. Renee got Haiti, so Renee's getting a 10-pack of Pops pills. We like this little package. We're sending them in right now. They're cute and easy to get to. And we've got some pink buffalo. Homegrown pink buffalo, a couple of grams of pink buffalo. Very blue, very good stuff. So we're going to get that out to Renee. She's going to shoot us an address, and we'll send this to her. Excuse me. Hey, you guys. We'll do one more. But you know what? About 2.5 weeks ago, 3 more. But I'll say, I'm still coughing, right? I stopped smoking. And I stopped drinking. Stop it. Get the body feeling better. Quit pouring toxins in when you're pouring them out every night. We're doing pretty good. Apple producing countries. That's a total clean out, True Heart. I'm thinking I might have one beer at Mushtoberfest. It's not that I had to, it was that I wanted to. It's time to take a break. Corona, Sandman, we won't need them for Pops. But you know, I'm still gonna be at the party. And it's not like I'm pulling anything off or anything. It feels good. The best part. Oh, wait, you guys are already answering questions. Apple producers, and you guys are flying. I apologize. I'm going to pick one now. And you guys go ahead. Australia. I'm going to read them off the list as I see them. You guys are already putting them up there. Australia, Poland, China, Russia, USA, Ireland, United States, apple producing countries. I'm still looking. Russia, Argentina, France, Canada. You guys are faster than me. I'm rambling and you guys are answering. Peru and Turkey and UK. And I made Lyman Velo, okay. And Poland, can't wait to see it. Poland and Russia and Spain and Mexico and Canada and Spain and Mexico. I haven't seen it yet. Just one, Uzbekistan, India, Chile, UK, India, France, Guatemala, France, Mexico. Cat has it. Cat has it. Cat got it. Kill it. It's Iran. Iran is out there making apples. Congratulations, Cat. Number one apple producing country is US. Number 2 is China. Number 3 is former USSR. Number 4, Germany. Number 5, Italy. Number 6, France. Number 7, Turkey. Number 8, Poland. Number 9, Iran. And number 10 is tied with Argentina and India. Kat, I'm glad you won. I know you're going through some things there, and your husband is too. We sure are wishing you guys well. Pop's 10-pack in there. And we're going to give you some pink buffalo as well. Beautiful pink buffalo. Couple of grams worth that should make everybody happy. So you get me your address here, please. And I'll get that sent out to you, Kat. Well, guys, Pop's turned this show into an hour and a half long. I guess I wanted to talk. I guess I like talking about birds. Have a good day, you guys. Thank you for being here, sincerely. Thanks for helping me grow. I'm going to practice some more gratitude today. I mean it. I'm grateful right now, and I'm practicing it. I think that's why I run long, Kim. I do. I think that's why I run long, because I'm so grateful. I'm addicted to you guys. I think that's why I run long. Tomorrow is Big Box Friday. It's been kind of a little box this week. I've been glad. You know why? Can I be honest with you guys? Give me 5 people. Say, Pops, be honest with us. Tell us what you're really thinking. 5 people. Before you run off. 5 people. Pops, what are you really thinking? I'm waiting. I haven't seen one person. Society says it. Oh, True Heart, that's not the real reason. Now you guys are saying, go ahead and tell us, Pops. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Pops. Come on. I'm kind of cliffhanging you guys a little bit, but guess what? Here it is. Somewhere way back in here, a little pinprick of it. Way, way back. Kim's already on track. There was a part of me, not current today, but certainly as things have been getting crazy and I was going 150 miles an hour and heading right towards the cliff. There's a part of me that's like, do these people only watch this show so they could get big prizes? Why are you giving away a half ounce, a quarter ounce, a half ounce? This thing, you're getting out of control, Pop. Are you bribing people? You're a briber. You're faking up the numbers. I'm not kidding. Teeny little voice that didn't want to go away. This week, I kind of tested it. And I know I'm wrong. I know that's a sick voice. That's the voice that needs to be appreciated, the voice that needs attention, the voice that needs reprogramming. Because this week, there's just been a couple little basics, and I need to continue to practice. The reason that I do give away is because it makes me feel good. Because I gotta give stuff away to grow. His stinking thinking, Kim. I gotta give stuff away to grow. That's it, Slingy. That's beautiful. That's samskara. So it's a real emotion. You could appreciate how that could sneak in and become a creepy little thought. And then guess what I do? You know what a lot of people would do? Okay, I'm going to prove it. I'm just going to not do it at all and see what... Keep practicing. Keep being you for the reason that you're you. And how it's received is ultimately going to be how it's received. But I would be so sad if that was who I really was. No, it's not. So let's not, Pops is not going to, I'm still doing a lot of behind the scenes giveaway stuff to you guys, okay? It may not look as big or as bold right now. I have to go through it this way. Tomorrow, we'll have some big boxes. A couple of big boxes here. Good enough? Thank you for listening to me. That was a little therapy on my part. I just told you guys the truth. Impeccably. Thank you guys. Have a good day. What did Sandy say? That's beautiful, Renee. I'm so glad to hear that. The gift and blessings you have shown us could never fit in a box. Gosh, that's pretty, Sandman. Okay? It's the space we're providing here too, right, Nerdy? Look how many of us just get to say hi and hang out with each other every day. I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Have a beautiful, gratitude-filled day because you're practicing it. Thank you guys. Thanks for being my friends. Thanks for being my family. Thanks for making me brave. Roar! Thanks for making me brave. I'm gonna go risk some stuff here today. Every time I drive to the post office, it's a risk. Every time I drive to the post office, I'm taking 30 felonies with me. Oh. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Be kind to one another. Kim, you're your own prize. That's cute. True Heart and Whiskey. And Slingy and Jesus Christ, I love him. And Vegas, you two, and Overjoyed and Nerdy and Ladran and RX and Shasta and Savage and Overjoyed and Kimberly and MVP and Slingy. I read down at the bottom of the list. I'm sorry if I didn't read your name here today. I'll read it tomorrow. Eric and Daniel and Jackie and Chris and Shasta Lady and Penny Pack and Badgie. There's my guy. And Terry Newman, he's my man. And Silly Gal, I love you. And RTH Reviews. And MDK. And Rooster, an exception. I did stay on long today. Gosh, I'm at an hour and 32 minutes. I'm almost abusing you guys now. Knock it off, Pops. Get out of here. Okay, stop abusing us. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you guys tomorrow.